Hey guys, welcome to Anime Hub where we discuss everything anime. Today, we're going to be counting down the top 10 Ichigo Kurosaki fights from the Bleach series. Ichigo is one of the most iconic anime characters of all time, and he's been involved in some of the most epic fights in the Bleach series. So, let's get started with our countdown. Masaki Kurosaki, Ichigo's mother, was killed by the Grand Fisher over 10 years before Bleach. When Ichigo was a child, the Grand Fisher utilized this particular lure to entice him, forcing his mother to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to save him. Ichigo battled and attempted to cut the Grand Fisher in a fit of wrath before getting impaled, coming close to dying. Grand Fisher and Ichigo were both too hurt to continue fighting, and the combat ended in a tie as a result. Ichigo needed to be healed, and Rukia had to warn him that any injuries to his soul would also affect his physical health. Additionally, Ichigo's father informed him that he didn't kill his mother, and to live his life well in honor of her sacrifice. Ichigo and his pals strike to rescue Rukia after she is taken back to Soul Society to be put to death. This forces Ichigo into numerous fights with other Shinigami, notably Ikaku Madarame. The majority of this monstrous Shinigami's battles are won by sheer force. The protagonist is undoubtedly stretched to the limit during his struggle with Ichigo, but he prevails by using his skills to enhance his intrusion into Soul Society.
You have excellent reflexes! I guess you think it's so... You're too slow! Strong. I'll give you that.
The battle between Ichigo and Hollow Ichigo in Bleach was one of the most intense and visually stunning fights in the entire series. The fight takes place within Ichigo's inner world, as he battles against his own inner hollow self, which has taken over his body. The fight is a struggle between Ichigo's desire to maintain control over his body and his inner hollow's desire to dominate and take over completely. As the battle progresses, Ichigo's inner hollow unleashes its full power, transforming into a monstrous form that towers over Ichigo. The two exchange brutal blows, with each attack causing the landscape to crumble and shake. Ultimately, Ichigo is able to overcome his inner hollow and regain control of his body, but not before being pushed to the brink of his limits.
Weak! Ichigo! Instinct. You have won the fight for now. Still, don't get yourself killed before we meet again!
The battle between Ichigo and Rinji Abarai in Bleach was one of the earliest and most memorable fights in the series. Rinji, a lieutenant of the 6th Division in the Soul Society, was sent to retrieve Rukia Kuchiki and bring her back to face charges for transferring her powers to Ichigo. The fight between Ichigo and Rinji took place in the streets of Karakura town, with both combatants displaying incredible speed and strength. Rinji wielded his powerful Zanpakuto, Zabumaru, which had the ability to extend and retract like a snake, making it a formidable weapon. Ichigo, on the other hand, was still learning to control his newfound powers, but he was determined to protect his friends and stand up to those who would harm them. The fight was filled with intense action as Ichigo and Rinji exchanged blows and traded powerful attacks. Despite Rinji's skills and experience, Ichigo was able to hold his own and eventually came out on top, proving that he was a force to be reckoned with. The battle between Ichigo and Renji was a pivotal moment in the early stages of the Bleach series, showcasing Ichigo's growth and determination as a character. Everywhere he travels, Squad 3's enigmatic and sardonic Captain Jin Ishiguro raises suspicion since he describes himself as a silver-tongued serpent. Throughout the Arrancar arc of Bleach, he fought with Aizen. During the fake Karakura Town arc of Bleach, he was prepared to confront Ichigo even if his primary goal was to defeat Aizen. The two had previously engaged in combat during the Soul Society arc of Bleach. To put it plainly, Ichigo's situation did not turn out well. This one wasn't quite there either, but by that time Ichigo had progressed and was able to hold Jin off for longer. This fight showed Jin to be more than just the silver-tongued character he had been painted as earlier. Additionally, Ichigo learned enough from the experience to recognize when he is playing outside of his ability. As the culmination of a 100-year plan, Jin would try to turn on Aizen and battle him, which led to Jin's demise. Ichigo was on his way to save Rukia when Kenpachi's spiritual pressure started to hit like a semi-truck after recovering from Renji's fight, being shot out of a cannon, and even defeating the symbolic door guard of Soul Society. He made sure Ganju and Hanatar were gone before going up against the battle-obsessed Kenpachi after deciding to combat him. The fight then started when Kenpachi used his bare hands to stop Zangetsu. Since Ichigo was being pushed back so far, he had to combine his might with Zangetsu's and Ichigo's in order to advance. The struggle ended with both of them on the point of death and everything around them reduced to ruins. Even then, it was as close as a combat can get. Ichigo battled his inner hollow for the first time in this fight, but it wouldn't be the last. The battle was brutal and introspective. After that fight, Kenpachi was happy and badgered Ichigo non-stop until round 2.
Did you come back from the dead?
Hear the cries of his sword.
Putting all of my power in your hands, Zangetsu.
Here he comes, Ichigo. But
This conflict was also predetermined because it was widely hinted at in Bleach's Soul Society arc. Ichigo wasn't about to allow the treacherous Captain Sosuke Aizen's scheme to become the new god and claim his position in the skies to succeed. The fate of the entire globe was determined by the crucial conflict. Good versus evil, Ichigo versus Aizen, the whole 9 yards. In order to defeat Aizen once and for all, Ichigo received last-minute training from his father Ishin as well as assistance from Kisuke Hara. Ichigo lost his Shinigami abilities in a fight of gods, and after the dramatic conclusion, he sobbed in relief. Ichigo needed to rest a lot to recover, so he took his time to do so. With so many dead, the Godai 13 had to rearrange themselves and appoint new captains.
The final Getsuga Tensho.
Mugetsu.
Bleach's own transformative monster Ulquiorra's strength and sheer monstrous power and despair overwhelmed Ichigo. Out of all the battles Ichigo had been in, his battle against Ulquiorra and his Segunda Etapa form have been some of his most challenging. With both incredible power and impressive design, Ulquiorra quickly defeated Ichigo and seemingly killed him with a Zero Blast to his chest. However, Ichigo's inner hollow took control, resulting in a no-holds-barred battle between the two demons slugging it out. Ichigo abandoned all morality and mercilessly tore Ulquiorra apart. It wasn't Ulquiorra's end, though, and it took until the duel's climax for him to slowly scatter into ash. This duel is one of Bleach's most memorable for the seemingly godlike levels of power granted to both sides in the conflict, and the brutal no-holds-barred beatdown Hollow Ichigo delivered. It cracked and nearly shattered Ichigo's hollow mask and even made Orihime afraid of him for a while. It also saw Ulquiorra gain a heart through his death.
Be enough of an advantage. Lanza del Relámpago. What? Impossible. I should have known there'd be no mercy.
Put simply, Ichigo vs. Grimmjow is Bleach's grudge match. The two had fought twice before, both times with Ichigo only surviving thanks to outside intervention. Their final duel, however, had nobody coming to help or intervene. Both men were free to cut loose and settle things. The raw force of Grimmjow's resurrection made this one was for keeps, one that took all Ichigo had. Once the fight kicked off, it was non-stop action as the two engaged in a constant barrage that tore the buildings and ground asunder. Every blow seemed like a lethal shot. Though there were plenty of fights left before Orihime was safe, Ichigo vs. Grimmjow marked a turning point in Hueco Mundo. Ichigo spared Grimmjow, and even came to his defense. Grimmjow changed for the better afterwards. Many fans agree that this is the best fight in Bleach, and it's easy to see why. This is the most intense battle of wills in the Soul Society arc, where Byakuya had to uphold Soul Society law and his own honor by defending Rukia's scheduled execution. Ichigo, however, wasn't the same man that got one shot. He gained his Bankai and faced off against Byakuya's own, and the fight escalated to the point where Ichigo's hollow took over. Byakuya began to see things Ichigo's way and entrusted Rukia's care to him, though not after a climactic fight that shook Soul Society. It made Byakuya a changed man, finally saving Rukia and giving Ichigo a spot in Soul Society. It was helpful for everyone as Ichigo unlocked his Bankai, getting stronger as the series went on. Rukia gained new respect for Ichigo and Byakuya began changing his own perspective on everything.
Disappear before another thought passes through your head. Bankai. Senbon Zakura Kageyoshi. How does he move so quickly? My Senbon Zakura.
Am I moving too slow for you? Just say so. I can move a little faster if you'd like.
I've got him.
That's it for this video. Which of these fights is your favorite? Comment down below and please like, share and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more such amazing anime content. As always, we'll see you in the next